Today I'm talking about the balance of playing more than one game at the same time. As somebody who likes computer games, I've found it can be a bit challenging to figure out how to fit them all into my daily routine. And one of the worst things you can possibly do in gaming is to start to feel like the games you play are some sort of a duty and obligation, and then you're actually getting a negative experience out of something that's supposed to be fundamentally relaxing, positive, and fun. And as having played MMOs over the last couple of years, particularly, what I found about the genre is that it's very time consuming because these games are designed to be not something that you sit down and you just play for a moment or something that you play for a little while until you finish the content and then you're just done with them. They're intended to be live service, ongoing, forever experiences where you're going to play them ongoingly for probably quite a few years. And if you're having a great time, that's great. But if it's starting to feel like a grind that's imposing on other things you need to do in life, then that's not great at all. And something I found is that theme parks are significantly less fun to me in real terms than the sandbox games. So Albion Online, EVE Online are probably about the only true sandbox MMOs I know of. But it's really nice to sign into a game like Albion Online where you don't have any quests, you don't have any true objective. Of course, your goal would be to have more silver or to perhaps continue to become more powerful with your character, but there's not any sense of needing to do a main story quest through to the end. There's not any sense that you have to get to some particular agreed upon definition of endgame. You really just do whatever you want, and you're never going to be complete, and you're never going to really have a roadmap that tells you need to do some certain things to get there. That's great because it eliminates that feeling of I need to sign in and I need to do some more quests and I need to continue grinding because I have to get to level 60 or level 80 or 90 or whatever the cap is for the game you're currently playing. And then, of course, there's the issue of content you don't enjoy at all. And I have found a lot of that in MMOs where the game is cool. There's definitely some amazing content there, but there's also things about the game I just don't really enjoy. And the temptation is to get invested in it, and then you're not having fun, but you sort of lie to yourself and you say, oh, this is great. And I'll keep on grinding through all this stuff that's really boring because I want to get to that part I was looking forward to. Like Final Fantasy 14, I'll tell you, I hate the quests. They're boring. It's a lot of reading stupid stuff. Now, maybe it's not stupid to somebody else because maybe somebody else really enjoys it, but I don't enjoy it. So there I am playing through these quests on and on and on, thinking, well, one day I'll be able to buy a house and decorate it, or one day I'll get to the end game and maybe it will be fun to be part of a guild or some kind of a free company sort of a thing that's going to be rewarding, at the end of the road. And it just isn't worth it if you're going to spend hundreds of hours interacting with content that you don't enjoy because there's promise of a carrot at the end. So I've gotten away from that, and I really just came to terms with the truth, which is I don't like a lot of these games very much. So if I don't like it, I'm not going to play it. And that's something you really have to come to terms with if you interact with games that have a live service model, because they want you to feel like you're betraying some kind of a trust if you're not actively playing the game. And so that kind of is where I'm at. I play the sandbox games like Albion Online. I really don't play any other MMO actively other than Albion Online at this moment. And having kind of taken a break from the other ones, I really feel like I may not return to them because I've always missed the experience of sandbox games like Albion, and I always come back for that reason because I like the sense of an economy and I like the sense of it being open-ended, and I can't get around the fact that I often have a poor experience with theme park games in terms of getting sucked into them and then doing content that I'm not really having fun with. And that's not good. Not good at all to play a game and not enjoy the game you're playing. So I do take time for Albion Online every day just because it's a lightweight, simple client. It does not impose on my time in any way. It's chill and relaxing if I want to just stay in the safe zones and do other things, watch other videos on the side. It just feels like a good fit. And then I'll make time for other things like city builders, and I do feature Theotown on this channel, and I think that that's a fun game I'd highly recommend because it's also a very lightweight client. It doesn't take a lot of effort to load it up. You just hit the icon and suddenly you are building your city. It's great. And it doesn't require any mental energy to make sure it's updated and make sure that all the mods are loading correctly without any conflicts and all that kind of stuff. And then you wait there for 5 or 10 minutes while you wait for all of the extra DLC stuff that you have to load. There's none of that with Theotown. So I think what I recommend is to find simple games that you can play every day, and they give a little bit of a sense of structure, a little bit of a sense of satisfaction. They're a consistent thing in your daily life. It gives you that sense of something familiar. And then outside of that, what I like to do is take some of those other titles that are more system intensive, more I guess substantial, like Cities Skylines. It's a very big game, and it's time consuming to be involved in it, but it's also rewarding to have a project in that game and then see it through to the end. I like games like Anno 1800, but I won't necessarily play that game even every week, but maybe I'll sit down and have a real quality experience working on my build and expanding what I've been doing in that game every couple weeks or so. And then there's games like American Truck Simulator. I enjoy that game, but that's not something I would say, oh, I'm going to make time every day or even every week to do it. It's just once in a while, if I get the feeling I would like to pour a cup of coffee and sit there and drive down the virtual road in ATS, I'm going to just go do it. So what I've done is kind of come to an understanding that the games I enjoy playing are simple and unintrusive, and those are the ones that I play every day. And if a game is something that requires me to have more of a sense of investment than maybe 15 or 20 minutes or an hour out of the day, then it's not going to be an everyday thing. And if it's something that I think is great to do, but it's a bit more time consuming than that, then it has to be probably about maybe a once a week or every other week kind of a thing. And so coming to terms with that has helped me just to kind of realize games that take a lot of time are probably not a really good thing for you to have as part of your daily habitual routine, because they start to weigh you down, and then after a while they start to feel like jobs instead of sources of respite, and you don't ever want that to be the case. So I'd recommend, if you start to feel a bit of burnout on games, you really should just walk away from them and then do something else, and if you miss them, you can always come back. But don't force yourself to keep doing something long after you've started to feel like it's burning you out and it's infringing upon your time. Because at the end of the day, while gaming can be a great hobby, it's still just a game. And I think it's important to remember that and to remind yourself of that sometimes when perhaps if you're like me, you're tempted to forget that. Anyway, thank you very much for watching.